Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Tiabu, and I just got back from the gym. I smoked a bowl, had a shower. Great night. Incoming, I've got a bunch of teriyaki chicken arriving soon, and I'm gonna eat it with a bunch of people downstairs, and it's gonna be great. Also, I showed somebody a Symphogear song, and they were like, "This is cool." So, boom, got it. Somebody just posted. It was Elevone on my Patreon on the most recent Little Witch Academia reaction, asking me if I would do a little video and show you what those animation books and stuff that I've got over here are called and stuff, because I keep like referencing them and you can just barely see the text on them and you can't quite make it out. So I understand that that's probably infuriating, because that would actually infuriate me and I didn't realize I was doing that. Sorry. So let me go through them really quick. I don't know what order to go through them, and I don't really care. This is Ways of Seeing by John Berger. I believe it's Berger. I'm not entirely sure. This is a fantastic book that is about film, or art, or psychology, or really whatever. Really all of the things. This is a wonderful book. It's filled with pictures and illustrations, and it is all about conveyance. It's all about that thing that I keep talking about. How to, via art, convey things, and how people have done it in the past. It's a foundational text and something that's worth flipping through and reading. Pretty much every time you come to a paragraph of this thing, you go, this is a section I just flipped to. He's talking about advertising. Being envied is a solitary form of reassurance. Like, every line is, quote, "It depends precisely upon not sharing your experience with those who envy you. You are observed with interest, but you do not observe with interest. If you do, you'll become less enviable," right? Berger's he's kind of crazy, and he writes a really good book. This is a rather old book that's been around for a while, and it's since 1972, and it's been a foundational text for film studies and stuff for a long time. I first picked up a copy of this because of a film studies class, and this was on the syllabus. So I had a copy, and I don't anymore, and so I bought a new copy. Boom, book number 1. Second book is Confabulations by John Berger. I don't know what this book is. I've only read a few pages of it, and it seems to be a bunch of little short stories that are really interesting, and I like it. It doesn't seem to have almost anything to do with animation. Neat. Kind of a hit, kind of a miss. Cool. This is also by John Berger. This is Understanding a Photograph. This is not a book that I knew that he had written, but it is about what it says on the title, and it is about photographs and the history of photographs and the history of how people pose for photographs and what that says about them and cool stuff like that. It's kind of interesting. Don't know how applicable it is to animation, but it is stuff that interests me. So, bam. Bada bing, bada boom, book 3. This is Acting for Animators version, or 4th edition, by Ed Hooks. I grabbed this because it's recommended a bunch, and it is about character acting primarily, both body and face. And a lot of it is, as I've found a lot of these books are, mindset oriented, in trying to create a character who expresses things and thinking about the ways that they would express things, and then how do you convey that to an audience. And that's really sick. It's kind of cool. It's also filled with a bunch of illustrations. They're like simple, because he's trying to demonstrate simple emotions so that you can build off of them. This is pretty cool. Haven't really read it. Haven't really popped into it yet, but I'm looking forward to really cracking it and getting into it. I'm gonna save this one for last because I've got a lot to say about it so far. Cool. This is animation with Preston Blair. I picked this up because of the Yasuo Otsuka video that we did. This was what he said that he got and was interested in. This is also the one that I flipped through earlier. It's about everything, and it's Western semi-Disney style animation and cartoon construction and creating different kinds of body types and forms for different styles and feelings of characters, creating facial expressions on cartoony characters. It's a full circuit goofy animation crash course, and it's pretty fucking cool, at least for figuring out principles of stuff. And I imagine that if you were actually genuinely trying to get into animation, then stuff like pages on rhythm and design that create these incredibly beautiful shapes that really demonstrate the motion of these still images, which I know is a paradox, but still, I think you know what I mean. Like, look at that gnome guy over here in the corner. That dude is fucking moving. He is a still image, but he is in motion, is very neat. And thinking about the way that he does lines is really cool. There's just also a lot of cool stuff. Like, gosh, if only more animators would look at just this one picture and recognize the like way to break a horse down into base shapes. Holy shit, how many much better horses would we maybe see in animation? A lot. This is a pretty cool book. Boom. Bada bing, bada bang. This one I have not really dove into because it is fucking thick. It is fucking thick, but it is entirely about storyboarding. And it's really cool, and it's a lot about storyboards and how to convey things not only to your audience but to like the people that you're working with who have to draw this stuff, and so that they don't have to draw it multiple times and you actually express to them what you're going for. It's pretty cool from what I've flipped through, but I have not dove into this book enough. I think that this one is probably going to be a very, very dope book, but again, it's large and I haven't gotten there yet, and I'm still working through the one that I put to the side that I'll tell you about in just a moment. Cool. There goes directing the story. Keep framed ink to the side. This one kind of a miss for me. This is a quick little thin book that's about learn to animate step by step. This one might also be Preston Blair. It is. Yeah, it's a 40 step drawing book. It's a lot of stuff that's duplicated from the other Preston Blair book and not as much stuff. So, bit of a miss for me. Don't need it, but I've got it. This I have read the PDF of, but I decided that I would go ahead and throw a copy at it. This is the Animator Survival Kit. It's methods for animation, it's history of animation, it's art and art design and timing, and it's all got this sort of ridiculous cartoonist sort of vibe through it that makes it a very fun read that's really, really cool. But it's also it also is entirely grounded in somebody who worked in animation for a long time. Yeah, this is Richard Williams, who worked for 50 years in animation. And it's insane. It's awesome. It's not just like how to animate, it's how to animate as a team. It's how studios like break things down. It's how to create broad motion and simple motion and more complicated motion, and how to actually lay it out as frame rules to figure out how your animations move. So this is a cool book. It's, again, this is a fucking text. Don't take it lightly. This one is Creativity Inc. This is about the founding of Pixar. I also, you can tell by the perfect binding, I haven't cracked it. This is a book, and it's like a story kind of book, kind of. But it's also about a bunch of the hurdles of being part of an animation studio, let alone founding an animation studio, let alone trying to found the best animation studio in existence, Pixar. Debatable. Big debatable, but like, come on, it's fucking Pixar. Okay, how about the most successful? That might work. Sure. This is pretty cool. All right, on to my favorite of the books, and the one that I have referenced in videos more than any of them, and I've told you the name of it. This is Framed Ink, by Marcus, I'm gonna butcher this, Mateau Mestre, I don't know. He's real good at the drawing things, though. He's really good at it. The whole book is in chiaroscuro, so it all looks dope. And the thing that immediately struck me when I first opened this book was that I realized that he had constructed a book that is meta. And I've talked a few times about shows that embody their own message. Little Witch Academia is kind of one of those right now. Symphogear, going from sort of humble beginnings with season 1 of Symphogear into what it became with XV by the end of 5 seasons, and the entire explosion of that creative impulse is a prime example of this sort of meta-ness, because it's a show about reaching out to people, connecting to them through music, and look what it did. It did exactly that thing. And that's pretty fucking cool to me. I like those shows a lot. I find that a lot of Gynax shows kind of hit that itch for me. Specifically, Gurren Lagann is probably the best idea for that, because it's got the whole spiral narrative bullshit thing going on. This book is a piece of art that teaches you how to make pieces of art, and I've never seen anything like it. So the first thing that I noticed when I first flipped through it was, this is what some of the chapter title pages look like, and other ones look different. Like, this is what some of the chapter title pages look like, and every page has no format to it, except the perfect format for the thing that's being described on the particular page. That's the thing that strikes me, because we jump into drawing and compositing a still image, and we get hit by these individual paragraphs, or like little sections that perfectly express an idea in a way that's just so concise. There's never an extra word. There's never an extra sentence. It's just to the fucking point, brutal, honest. This is what's necessary for this to happen. Done. And I love it. I love it to pieces. So let me go to, I think we can go ahead and I'll read the introduction out loud. Let me show you the introduction page, because it's amazing. This is the first page of text that you get in this book, is this like chiaroscuro full black diner scene with white text on it. Let me read this intro to you. Introduction. Subtitle, Narrowing Down. Paragraph 1. The first thing a reader sees of a book is its cover, which sums up at a glance what the book is about, the broadest, most general statement. Then, the table of contents quickly tells the reader the subject matter the author will discuss in the book. And finally, the explanations, the details, the nuances, and subtleties will give the reader a complete understanding of what the message of the writer is. It is important to know as artists what we want and need to say, and how to prioritize and order the elements we will use, because they are what will help us get our message across. Conveyance. I added the conveyance. These factors inform our approach to drawing in general and for storytelling purposes. So, first we need to be clear about the general level of intensity the image should convey, given its purpose within the story as a whole. What type and level of emotion are driving the moment? Extreme happiness? Subdued sadness? Is it about explosive action? Next, there is the narrative detail, explaining what the specific action is about, the reason, and the anecdote within the mood. Do we feel sad because we are missing somebody, or because we lost a winning lottery ticket? Finally, the artistic execution and style glue everything together while supporting the story. By following these steps, we aim to deliver clear messages with our artwork, frame by frame, and in continuity with the story as a whole. That is the defining principle of how this book is laid out, and the entire book follows it without straying. It's utterly insane. He drives the momentum and knowledge directly into your brain. For example, you get a page like this that's all of these different faces, and there's just this little one box of text, because we don't need that much text to explain what this page is. And there isn't more explanation of what this page is on the previous page, not really, and there isn't more on the next page, not really. These pages are their own thing. This page is complete. Mostly every page or page set is complete. It's just, this is the idea, it's in your brain now, you have it. Oh, okay, thanks, Marcos. Thanks, you did a good, you taught me a thing, you conveyed the thing perfectly, and the whole book is like that. I'm gonna buy all of this guy's books, if I can. The variety is great. Like, this doesn't come off of a different page. I guess it does. Let's go now to another simple example, a human head. We all know what it looks like and what features and sense of volume it appears to have. ... Next page. Boom. You all know what features it's supposed to have, and you can recognize it in all of these situations, is the point, right? The variety is great. Some will tell a more relaxed, upfront story, while some might go to the realm of nightmares and then worlds in between. One of the main steps will be again to decide how much we want to show of the subject, how clear or how confusing the image will be, how close to an everyday average impression of a human face do we attempt, or how far away from it do we decide to travel in order to create, in this case, an unsettling mood for the audience. And that's set into this page. It inspires you to go and look at all of the pictures on this page and go, what does this make me feel? What does this express? What is this person with their eyes in shadow and large, full lips? What is this person hiding in shadow, their eyes only barely peeking through? Who is she? Confident, square-jawed, whole face well lit. Who is he? Sitting in darkness. Just one eye, a nose, some grizzled features. This is a fucking insane book, and if I were to recommend any of the books, that one. That one. He has a couple of other books, and I'm gonna buy them, and I assume that they're probably pretty good, but this book, it's the shit. So there you go, Elevone. Those are the books that I bought. There's no, like, rhyme or reason to why I bought these particular books except what I've told you, but I wanted to get a big slew of different things and see what stuck, and the answer was this one stuck, and I think, though I cannot confirm yet, I think this one will stick, because it's just so much, and all of it seems so informative. Every page that I turn to is like, oh, got it. This is a full storyboard for a piece of animation, and it makes a lot of sense. Got it. Cool. It's pretty cool. Anyway, them's the books. Thanks. Peace. See you next time on... Bye.